warm welcome to the final episode of the new Inventors, our grand final for 2011. Tonight, we say goodbye, but not before we discover which 3 inventions our judges have picked as the year's best and which of them will be named as our invention of the year. We'll also crown the Young Inventor of the Year and give an award to an inventor motivated by a desire to make the world a better place. First, a warm welcome to all our judges. Hello. During the year, they had the never simple job of deciding which invention should win each episode. Then it got harder. They had to narrow those 27 EP winners down to 3. They were locked in a room, they discussed, they argued, they fought, they begged for pizza, and eventually, mentally battered and bruised, they emerged with the names of 3 inventions scrawled in Chris Russell's blood on a piece of paper. And the first one, like so many of the nearly 1,000 inventions we've seen on this show, was invented by a farmer.
Mustering or moving cattle around the confines of a farm, feedlot or sale yard is risky business. Every day, millions of cattle handlers are putting their lives on the line through the simple act of directing cattle through and around farm gates. The result to the cattle handler is always scary, too often a serious injury and sometimes even a painful and tragic death.
And with his invention, the swing gate, please welcome from Inverell in northwestern New South Wales, Edward Evans.
This is a real issue, isn't it? I mean, you've actually spent a lot more time in cattle yards than what I have. You know, have you ever had an issue in here, or what spurred you to activity?
Well, I had a Brahman cow come down the race and hit the gate at tremendous speed, and the gate went past me and the beast went past.
You still hear those?
And I was left standing here dumbfounded and speechless.
OK, so now this is a new addition since you actually were on the show the first time, and this is this new catch. Now, why did you come up with this?
Well, it's a slam catch, and that's what most cattle yards have these days, rather than a chain.
So let's just test that. So, in fact, you're holding it and you're pushing with this, gets it back. Now, that's now lock solid, and you could build it with the ball and nothing's going to happen anymore.
Won't come open.
OK, so that's the catch. Now, the real essence test with this, though, of course, is the bull itself hitting the gate, and this is where the invention first came from. So, in this scenario, I'm actually shutting the gate, and I'm sort of standing here, sort of going to fiddle with this, and suddenly this wild Brahman comes charging in 100 mile an hour, and you're going to be that. So let's see how Ferdinand does his worst. Give me a go.
OK.
Yeah, didn't feel a thing.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, they're all there. Yeah. Fantastic. OK, now, in fact, if I'm then jammed in the yard with a whole lot of cattle, you've actually thought of that as well.
Yeah.
So just come and show me how that's set up.
Yeah. Well, if you stand in there and this gate comes back past the right angle, so it doesn't matter how hard the beast hits here, you're protected.
Give me another whack. Yeah, OK, I believe you. So you've got your own cage now as well.
Yeah.
So has this ever failed, Ed?
No, never.
Never failed?
No, I've done it 4,000 times at field days and whatnot.
Let's come, just mind the step here. So, and you've never seen it miss? No toothless people out of this?
No, you can drink coffee and stand there all day and you never get hit.
I'm sure it's going to be a great innovation for every cattle yard, and thank you for bringing it to us tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. And Edward told us earlier that the swing gate's already being used in schools that teach agriculture, which is fantastic. Each year we have lots of young people, 18 or younger, who've had an idea and then turned it into something. One of them is about to win our Bright Spark Award and receive $2,000 worth of consulting services from the CSIRO and $2,000 from Oz Industry to spend on commercialisation, business development and education. The finalists in the Bright Spark Award are...
I decided I wanted to make a shade that was portable and more suitable for teenagers. It doesn't shade your whole body, but it's big enough to protect your head and your shoulders. It's easy and it looks great.
Our team name is Team Bacon. We have invented a collapsible asthma spacer from silicon
that can fold down to a size where it can fit in your pocket and make treating asthma a lot easier and a lot more portable.
I invented the page flipper for my music stand. I would like to develop my music stand to make sure that there are no flaws in it, and then I'd show it to schools and sell it for schools to make it easier for the orchestras.
To present this award, we have the youngest person ever to have an invention in competition on the New Inventors. That was in 2004, then he was aged 9.
This is a super mixer turbo. I've invented it to help my parents in the busy life of the shopping centre.
You didn't like the stirring much?
No, not really.
What was the worst thing to stir?
Rice pudding, I'd say.
Right. Please welcome Ada Yilmaz. Hey, Ada. Neither of us has changed a bit. Except you're about twice as tall. You're still inventing, aren't you? Tell us what you're doing.
Well, I've gone into more computer-based innovations now, if you like, doing a lot more work with electronics and programming, that sort of stuff, but still in the same field. And
you're doing your final year of school this year and you want to study what?
Mechatronics, which is basically just...
mechatronics.
Yeah. It's like mechanical engineering, electronic and software sort of all roll it into one.
Now, who is the winner of the Bright Spark Award?
Okay, well, I have it here. The Bright Spark Award for 2011 goes to Liam Scott and Matthew O'Malley for the Space Saver Spacer.
Good on you, mate. Well done. Congratulations. Got to give it to him, Ada. It's not yours anymore.
Not mine anymore.
Congratulations, guys. Now, tell us the idea behind it.
Well, the Space Saver Spacer came around in Year 10. We came up with the idea. It was to make the treatment of asthma much more portable for the sufferer. So it's designed to make their lives easier, and fingers crossed that it'll all go as planned.
Well, what's happening now?
At the moment, we're trying to get medical testing done on it in Western Australia.
And after that, maybe it'll be available. Fantastic. Thank you, Ada. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate once again Liam Scott and Matthew O'Malley. Now, one thing we've seen over the last 8 years is a great increase in awareness of the need to take care of the environment. Many inventors have been inspired by that challenge, including our second finalist.
Salt. It's poison to soil. Much of the water that lies under the ground in Australia and worldwide is contaminated with salt. It's brackish. Brackish water is useless for irrigating crops. Very few plants can live on salty water. But our freshwater resources are under pressure, and with population steadily increasing, we simply must find a way to use brackish water to grow our food.
Please welcome, with their invention, the Rosdy system from Sydney, Greg Leslie and Bruce Sutton.
G'day, Bruce. And Greg, well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
And if we look over here, we can see a model of what you're hoping the Rosdy will make real. So we've got a farm with some brackish water underground that you're pumping up into a dam there, and then from the dam, pumping it around through piping under the field here, and here's where your invention comes in. It's this piping underground that's the key, and in reality, it looks a bit like this. It's a membrane filter surrounding a pipe with holes in it, and that membrane filter lets the plant suck water out
That's correct.
Yeah. Now that's a pretty firm pipe. You're not going to be able to lay that off the back of a tractor.
That's a prototype for the laboratory. What we're working on at the moment is to turn the support into a more flexible material, but the membrane would stay very much the same.
Alrighty, so that's a standard D-cell membrane that you're using there. And you've been working in the laboratory, and this is your lab kit. So this is the very low budget farm scenario where we've got the pot plant and we've got the pipe with D-cell membrane here. You've got your green plastic dam over there and a bit of a pump running the whole show. And now we can see there's the pipe. These plants look like they've grown fine, but have they had any watering, or have they drawn all of that water? Have they sucked that all through the membrane?
They started off with some water from a watering can to get them established, but from then on, they've been growing off the system.
Terrific. So that's working great at that scale. How are we going to go with getting it tested at this scale? Have you done any trials on a bigger scale?
Where 2 universities are working to get commercial investors involved to fund pilot trials, and that's pretty well in hand now.
And so the final part of your story is, once the salty water's gone through here, the plants have sucked less salty water out and are growing from that, and the red piping over there shows the more salty water that's left, and then you're pumping that back into the dam where you're getting your water from. So you're adding saltier water to your source. Why are you doing that?
The initial water may be nowhere near salty enough to stop the plant's growth with our system. So we can recycle it a number of times until it becomes too salty, and then we have to discharge it.
Right, and then you end up with a salt pan or something over here.
Yeah, there are a number of ways of disposing of that very salty water.
Well, you've shown it works in a pot planter, and if you can get it working on a slightly larger farm than this, you could be opening up a whole heap of Australia for growing crops that couldn't grow because of salt water. So, great job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Some people are motivated to invent because they want to escape their day job. Some want to build a business. Some just have an idea that won't leave them alone. Some people invent because they really want to improve the world for others. And it's one of these people who will receive our Les Is More Award, named in honour of our late judge, Les Miller. The finalists are...
My invention is a low-cost, portable, battery-operated surgical lamp. It's 1 mil aluminium, flat-packed, so it can be sent to the third world, folded into shape, and easily assembled on site.
The process that we've developed, which we call direct micro-expelling, is the fastest method for producing virgin coconut oil. The process from opening the coconut to getting the oil takes about 1 hour.
Our invention is a lightweight, four-wheel drive power chair for both off and on-road use, and only takes up the same amount of space in the car as a manual pushchair, and it runs for about 12 to 18 kilometres on one charge with a lithium battery.
To present the award, please welcome the President of Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders, Dr Nick Coatsworth. G'day, Nick.
G'day, James.
Thank you for coming.
It's an absolute pleasure.
You do a lot of work, and your organisation does a lot of work providing medical services in for example, disaster zones. What's an example of an innovation you've seen that's changed the way you do that?
Well, look, one of the things problems we encounter in disaster zones, obviously, is a lack of structure to have our hospitals in. So what do we do? We've taken advantage of an invention. We use a blow-up hospital.
A blow-up hospital?
It's like a blow-up bouncy castle at a 5-year-old's birthday.
How long does it take to put it up?
Well, it can be up in a day, in as much as a day, and what you get there is you get a structure where you can treat complicated inpatients where you wouldn't have had one before. You take a disaster like Haiti or Pakistan or somewhere like that, after an earthquake, there's nothing at all. So you need to put your hospital somewhere other than a shipping container.
Wow. Who is the winner of the Les Is More Award?
Well, the winner of the Les Is More Award for 2011 is Michael O'Brien for his surgical lamp. That's for you. Yeah. So, Michael, that's a really impressive invention. Certainly from our point of view at Médecins Sans Frontières, we're going to be able to use that for sure.
Yeah, thanks. I hope so. If you invest, brother, I'm interested.
Michael, what's happening? I understand it's going overseas somewhere. Where and when?
So, first of all, it'll be a rollout, a pilot program in the Northern Territory in some Aboriginal bush clinics. And then after that, it should go to Nigeria and Tanzania.
Congratulations to Michael. Thank you to Nick. Now, inventors are a wide and varied bunch. The cliche, of course, is that they're all middle-aged, semi-retired men with some sort of engineering or working with their hands background who spend a lot of time in their shed. That just isn't always true, but it is true a lot of the time.
I've always liked the workshop. I made this mobile tool rack because I used to put things down and couldn't find them again. I've got a lawnmower to push them around, and I've got 2 bicycle wheels which I use as racks. You put the tools in the spokes or hook them on around the rim.
What I don't like after a solid day of skiing is you've got to carry the ski on your shoulders and the poles on your hands, and you are walking with a very heavy ski boots. I'm exhausted, I'm worn out, and I look to go to the bar, have a couple of beers. If I am going to ski until I'm 100 years of age, it has to be a better way carrying the ski to the car.
I don't think of myself as an inventor because there's practically nothing in this world that hasn't already been made somewhere by somebody. All I've ever done is tried to improve things. The leaves falling from the jacaranda tree onto the roof of the cottage were clogging up the downpipes and the sieve on the tank. So I decided I had to do something about clogged downpipes.
Any opportunity to collect a piece of junk, so to speak, from anyone. There'll be friends of mine that say I've got a shed that I might need cleaning out, and their junk is my treasure. The locust plague showed up on my doorstep. Within 6 hours, they ate 6 acres. I don't like chemicals, and I thought, well, I have to do something that can get rid of the locusts without using a chemical.
Here's our third and last finalist. It's an invention that takes something very old and makes it new again.
Hardwood timber is one of the Earth's most precious resources. The forests it comes from help our planet to breathe and provide food and shelter for our wildlife. But in many parts of the world, hardwood forests are being destroyed by our thirst for timber, and the valuable wood is becoming increasingly scarce. The world needs an alternative.
Please welcome with his invention, the Knack Flex from Perth, Andrew Duncan.
Andrew, you've invented a post that's priced like treated pine, but it's as strong as steel. Yes. That's pretty impressive, and it's all about the layers. So if we can look at this section here, can you walk me through what we've got that makes this post so special? In the middle?
We have compressed timber. Or
okay,
compressed
plantation timber.
Plantation timber.
Okay, and then the secret is in the wrapping.
The secret is in the wrapping and the coats of resin, yes.
Okay, so even though this is looking really tiny, there's a bunch of layers of different resins in here, right?
Yes, there's 5 individual layers of resin on there for all different reasons.
Okay.
And it forms a resin matrix that makes a very tough, impervious coating on the outside.
And there's on the resin side of things, there's a polyester resin in there?
Yes, there's a few different blends of resins.
There's a vinyl around the outside bit?
Yes, there is also vinyl ester resin as well.
Okay, and then there's a UV coating on the outside?
Correct.
Okay, and a normal post, if you buried it into the soil like you would for a vineyard or you would for a number of applications, you'd stick it in there, and then it would, you can see from here, even if you wipe all the goop off it, it's really absorbent, which means rot.
Yes, it's susceptible to rot.
And is that what also
Fungal
attacks the
attack.
termites?
No, termites will attack the timber and eat the timber.
Okay, so that's pretty much attacked. Okay, but your coated post, if I whack that in there and then dangle it in there a bit, comes out all goopy. Oh, magic. Look at that. Wipes straight off, which is amazing. But what happens if you get that end of it and you put it into the dirt? Like that end of it is going to be still absorbent, right?
Okay, because you've cut and basically segmented the end, all we have to do is have a simple coat of resin, a little bit of glass fibre reinforcement, seal it up, done.
But if you've got all those layers of resin, how do you recycle this thing?
It's quite simple. We can actually strip the layers of resin back. We can actually reuse them in a process. We can actually munch them up and actually put them back through the coating, reapply the resin coatings, reapply the external coating, new product.
It's really cool the way you've thought it right through. We at the Inventors like to test things to their limits, Andrew. And let's bring the car gently up the post. That's amazing. Look at the flex. That's incredible. I think the box is cracking and the post is totally... Let's have a look. Come over. Thanks, car. All right, so let's just examine this situation. That's incredible. There's nothing. Look. No mark at all.
No cracking.
No stress. How many times could you run the car up and down it?
All day long.
That's incredible, Andrew. Well, you know, it seems that you've really elevated the humble post to something like a super post. It's absolutely fantastic.
Excellent.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Sally. And Andrew's been swamped with inquiries since he was on the show a couple of months ago. People have been suggesting all sorts of ideas for Knack Flex, from using it for oyster farming to cyclone-proof housing. So we've seen our three finalists: Edward Evans's swing gate, Greg Leslie and Bruce Sutton's Rosdy system, and Andrew Duncan's Knack Flex. Our judges now need to decide which is the 2011 invention of the year. So, which is the one that stands out to you?
Probably the most understated need is that cattle yard invention, you know, the swing gate. People just don't know how many accidents there are.
What about the unstated
But I don't think people are aware of that.
No. I mean, but I don't know how much people are aware that there's a lot of land that can't be cropped because of the salt water supply.
Or that there's a lot of damage from treated pine leaching into the soil. But then
Components
again,
are-
Rosdy, for me, I think using grey water through Rosdy is a massive untapped resource.
But the real beauty with Rosdy is that you're actually using what the plants already do. It's not like it needs high energy, high output pumping to get the water out. Plants are natural-born suckers that do the work for you.
And the question is, has the plant got enough sucking ability to actually look after itself?
I think the difficulty
and we need to see that in the field.
Yeah. I also think what's really cool about these inventions for the final show is we have the classic farmer invention. Yeah. We got the classic academic invention, and we got the classic inventor doing it on his own thing.
You three agreeing on one invention would be difficult enough, but in fact tonight you're going to have to join up with James, Vina, Mark and Alison. We're going to lock you in another room with no pizza, and the seven of you are going to have to agree. So
more blood.
More blood. Off you go. Please wish them good luck. And while they are doing that, here are some of the highlights from the last 8 years.
Yeah, that's quite simple.
We've also got a great jingle for you.
The Judimat.
Fantastic.
It's just spirited away up there, is that right?
The spirit of it will definitely head up in that direction.
Mush! Come on! Come on! Good boy! Come on, we almost caught the bad guys. And I should say, wait a minute, it's nice warm water, so we should get an accurate measure. Wow, look at that. It's really windy. You okay, Rog?
You make $4 million a year profit.
$4 million a year?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you single, John? Now, it looks like you've taken into consideration a bit of the cow comfort too. Cow looks quite comfy. It's not a cow.
It's the first thing you say when you're trying to push a car that's hard to move. Move, you bastard.
Do you like it? You're like, good. He likes it.
The cones have got that unique property.
Well done. Oh, hear that? And then I think I know what to do with this. Now I'm going to make it disappear. Oh!
And the whole process only takes seconds.
Well, this many seconds.
Lower the right hand, take the board over to the left side.
All right.
I love hot machines. I'd love to have one of those at my home,
Lube me up.
Righto.
You got to lube me up. Chris Russell said to me, I've done this hundreds of times, it's fun. Is that
Hanging upside down in there.
Look at it.
I mean, this is the boys' own invention of the year. I think it's fantastic. Absolutely no need for it, but I definitely want one.
But you get this wonderful feeling of flying. The spicks and specks, he just sits there behind a desk. And I'm okay. No one do this at home ever.
When we're tweaking, is there...
Sorry?
When you're tweaking and you're in the shower...
Tweaking in the shower.
You remind me so much of David. Gosh, I'm so sorry.
People on TV, bald with glasses, we all look at tweaking. Oh, it smells good.
Yeah.
And it cleans your glasses. Rock and roll, eh? There's a real carrot, that too. All right, the judges have made a decision. The inventors are here. Bernie, you've agreed?
We have agreed.
Yeah, and all 7 of you?
Yeah. It was feisty, but no blood spilt.
All right, thank you very much. The 2011 Inventor of the Year will receive $8,000 worth of consulting services from the CSIRO and a training package from IP Australia worth up to $3,000. IP Australia will help the winning inventor develop and commercialise their invention, secure their intellectual property, and they will help them to take their invention out into the Australian market and overseas to the world. And we thank IP Australia and the CSIRO. The 2011 Invention of the Year is Edward Evans and his swing gate.
Well, thanks very much. But I'd just like to say to the ABC, how about let's put it back on again, eh?
I'd like to thank everyone who's worked on the new Inventors in the last 8 years. Many, many skilled, clever people. You for watching and the ABC for putting it on. I think all of us involved with the show would like to thank that inspiring, determined, resourceful and resilient group of people who've not only made our show possible, but have made our world possible. Inventors. Every day, each one of us uses hundreds of inventions. Fridges, cups, shoes, televisions. We should all be grateful to inventors. We all owe them big time. And of course, even though this show is ending, the work of inventors will continue to change our world. We wish them all the best and say farewell. Good night.